lot of you guys own single shot and double barrel shotguns. Today's video is how to get the most versatility out of those shotguns by using gauge adapters. Some of you may already know what these are and how they can economically add a wide range of versatility to a shotgun, primarily break open style double barrels and single shots. Let's take these two 10 gauge magnums as our examples. And yes, these are big boy shotguns for stalwarts very much like myself. I'll probably do a full review of these big shotguns at a later date, but they're here today to help illustrate our topic. Unfortunately, the recent scarcity of 10 gauge lead shot shells, particularly buckshot, eventually made ammo for these older guns pretty hard to come by, and the cost of 10 gauge lead shot rounds has risen to over $50 a box. That's a whopping $2 a round. As much as I hated to think about it, mothballing was definitely on the horizon. Granted, there's plenty of 10 gauge steel shot loads available at a much lower price, but that's one of the fastest ways I know to ruin one of these older shotguns. Precisely shotguns that were manufactured before screw-in choke options came along. Shooting steel shot in any of these older fixed full choke shotguns can eventually damage the end of the muzzle by stretching the choke area out, causing it to split or maybe even rupture. Particularly susceptible are the older double barrel shotguns that have a nasty tendency to split at the end of the muzzle where the barrels are sweated together, essentially ruining the gun because steel shot just won't compress to a tightly choked muzzle like lead will. So it was either mothball these older 10s or come up with a solution. The cost-effective solution turned out to be utilizing an inexpensive gauge adapter that allowed shooting 12 gauge shot shells in these shotguns instead of the almost non-existent 10 gauge lead shot rounds. There's plenty of economically priced lead shot ammo available for the 12 gauge in about any shot size you can imagine, from 2 3/4 inch bird shot all the way up to the new 12 gauge 3.5 inch Magnum rounds. Buying these adapters put my big 10s back in business. Since I do reload for the 12 and 20 gauge, this made things even better. These actually worked out so well that one evening while being left unsupervised with access to my debit card, I decided to get more of these inexpensive adapters to add the same flexibility to some of my other shotguns. The best prices I found were on Amazon and eBay, so if you'd like to add some of these adapters to your shotgun accessories, just type in shotgun gauge adapters in that search thingy. It wasn't long before my order arrived, and what I got was a pair of 10 gauge to 20 gauge adapters, a 12 gauge to 20 gauge adapter, and a 20 gauge to 410 adapter that, as a bonus, allows me to shoot the 45 long Colt cartridges out of the 20 gauge. These are excellent addition to anyone's SHTF stash or maybe even your bug out bag. If I ever had to someday scrounge for shotgun ammo, the issue of correct gauge would obviously become less important. By the way, these adapters are also available in a wide variety of pistol to shotgun caliber configurations, from 44 Magnum all the way down to 22 rimfire, should you be interested in adding something like that to your survival gear. In the event that total social collapse fails to materialize, these adapters come in pretty handy when introducing new shooters to shotguns. Letting them work up slowly from the lesser gauges, eventually progressing to the more potent ones, can be accomplished with just one shotgun. Plenty of home defense and hunting applications here too. I still like shooting the big 10 gauge Magnum rounds from time to time, but some days it's nice to slip in one of these adapters and fire off a few milder rounds. At least one's less apt to rattle a few dental fillings loose. Anyway, go ahead and add these inexpensive adapters to your I didn't even know I needed these list, and the minute you're left unsupervised, you'll know exactly what to do. Well, that winds up our review on shotgun gauge adapters, but if you're like me, there's no such thing as having too many accessories for your firearms. Now is there?